Hello everyone and welcome to Whisky Wars, and for today's whisky review we've got a Japanese whisky, and it's actually the fifth one in short succession on the channel. I'm really digging into Japanese whisky at the minute, and this is my first from Hatozaki. So this is a 12-year-old from Hatozaki. It's bottled at 46% ABV, but interestingly with this one, it's an Umeshu cask finish. Clearly my first Umeshu cask finish that I've ever had. In fact, I didn't even know what Umeshu was. I knew it was some Japanese alcohol, but I didn't know what. So after looking it up, it's a plum liqueur. So very interesting and very, very exciting. My first liqueur cask finish to a whisky as well. The one negative I do have with this though is it does have one of those fake corks. For me it just adds a real cheapness factor to a bottling. I don't like it. I like that more natural feel that I seem to get from a cork. Although you could argue less likely to break. So a lot of people do prefer them, I just don't. So the nose is a really interesting one. I was expecting more plum sweetness on the nose, and what I get is a little bit different to that. Because it was a liqueur, I was thinking it's going to be really saturated and the cask is going to dominate the whiskey, but it doesn't play out like that. You do get plum sweetness on the nose, and it's really, really nice, but it's subtle actually. I think what's way more prevalent in this whiskey is that Umeshu cask is actually imparting a sugar sweetness, so a sugar syrup, solution to the nose. That very sugary, dense, syrupy, viscous note, but it's a sweet nose, absolutely. I get a lot of vanillas with this as well, so it's actually like a really a vanilla cream note, vanilla essence in cream with sugar syrup, and then hints of plum. It's a really genuinely lovely nose. On top of that, I get oak bitterness on the wood. I definitely pick up a woody bitterness there, but no spice. It just draws it back from being too sweet, and actually that is probably a good thing. It's not an overly complex nose, but that doesn't really matter because it's a very nice one. I always think when I have Japanese whiskies, even the bad ones, there's a floral character, which never really goes away. It's still here in this whiskey, but it's the least floral, probably, of the Japanese whiskies that I've had. And actually it comes a little bit across more like honeysuckle or honey. Squeezing fresh honey and vanilla essence onto some whipped cream, or some double cream actually, with sugar syrup and a little bit of plum. And like I say, that bitterness of the oak, just interacting with it too. It's all I can get from this whiskey. There's no ginger spice or anything like that I do get in some other Japanese. That's literally it. But very, very nice. Okay guys, let's just dig into the taste now. But just before we do, if you would be so kind to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. That'd be really, really appreciated. Also, after you click like, if you get the option and it says hype this video, please click hype on it, because it really helps the channel out. Completely free to do so, as always, but it'd be really, really appreciated, so thank you. Honestly, the wood bitterness is the first thing that I'm thinking of, so that's the most pronounced thing, different from the nose. But then it finishes with that sugar syrup solution. So it doesn't stay, it's a weird interplay between bitter and sweet. And the flavour is actually the wood. It's a really interesting one. It's like a sugary wood. The vanilla and the honey come through, but less so on the taste than the nose. And so does that plum, that also comes through. But it builds towards the end. And so does the sugar nature of it, it builds towards the end. It is quite an interesting one though, because the more you drink of this whiskey, the sweeter it gets, and the more that plum note builds. but initially it's not an overkill of plum. And after digging into the profile a little bit more, it seems that it's only been aged for 6 months in that Umeshu liqueur. And therefore, it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me. So it's had 11 and a half years in ex-bourbon, and then 6 in Umeshu liqueur. I have to say, I really like this whiskey. It's not knockout, lights out type of amazing, but it's a whiskey that I'm really enjoying and I really like. But mainly, I like it even more because of that uniqueness. The liqueur finish, the plum. It's a very interesting and unique whiskey. I like that about it. There does seem to be a cough syrup vibe to this whiskey. Now, it's not strong, it's not dominant, but it's very much present. And that to me almost gives it one of my favourite notes, which are medicinal notes. And it's an interesting, peculiar note to have in Japanese whiskey. It's not strong, like I say, but I don't know whether it's purely smelling something that reminds me of cough syrup that's now giving me the medicinal vibes, and it's my brain tricking me, or it's actually present in the whiskey. But I was thinking earlier, there's a little bit of like a funkiness in the bottle, on the nose and the taste, and for me it kept it interesting for me. And I can only maybe say now it's probably, that funkiness is probably just a touch of medicinal. So it's worth mentioning. Everyone might not get that, but it's something that I do get. But I'm pretty sure you'll also smell it and go, cough syrup, yeah, I get that too. And that's obviously from the liqueur. Just that extra artificial amount of sugar is probably the root cause of why that's coming through on the nose and the taste. Okay guys, that's going to wrap up today's whiskey review for the Hatozaki 12-year-old Umeshu cask finish. Bottled at 46% ABV. Overall, I think this is a really good whiskey actually. Price of this whiskey in the UK is around that £70 mark. Again, just like I said in my Yoichi video, Nika Yoichi, I do read the comments, someone told me how to pronounce that, so I've learnt. And I just can't judge Japanese whiskey compared to Scotch, value for money wise, because it loses every time. But if you judge it based on Japanese whiskey prices, I think this is a good whiskey. Like I said earlier, I don't think this is rush out to the shops and get it, wow, this is so good. But it's interesting, you can get a 12-year-old Japanese whiskey at the end of the day for a decent price. A lot of Japanese whiskies at this age go for a lot more. It's 46% ABV, and you get that very, very unique and interesting Umeshu cask finish to try out, which I know was the main reason I wanted to jump into it. It's my first age statement for Japanese whiskey, and also that cask finish. At 46% ABV, I think it's very respectably priced for the region, and I like it. I don't like the cork, the fake cork, and it's not a mind blower by any means, but overall I'm happy with this whiskey, and I do actually recommend it. Okay guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, please hype the video if you get the chance to. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and let me know in the comments down below, have you had this whiskey, have you heard of this whiskey, or have you ever had Umeshu liqueur from Japan? Because I'd also be really interested in knowing that. This is the first time I've ever heard of this liqueur. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all for the next Whiskey War.